Now let's look at 5.4. 5.4, we are given tan alpha, which is equal to 2 tan alpha minus sine 2 alpha over 2 sine squared alpha. 5.4.1, determine the general solution for which the identity is undefined. Now, our understanding of an undefined number is when you divide by 0. So if we are having a fraction in an identity, we look at that fraction and we are saying if this denominator is equal to 0, then the identity becomes undefined. So the first thing that we notice is that if 2 sine squared alpha is equal to 0, the identity becomes undefined. So we are going to solve this to find the values of x, which will be a general solution for which this is undefined. So solving this, we divide by 2, we get sine squared alpha is equal to 0, and then finding the square root of both sides, that sine alpha is equal to 0. And then when we reach this stage, we need to find the ref angle, which is sine inverse of 0, which is 0 degrees. And our solutions, since our ratio is positive, we are in the first and the second. So we are saying alpha is equal to, in the first quadrant, it's 0 degrees plus k by 360 degrees, where k is an element of integers. And then that is in the first quadrant. In the second quadrant, we know it's 180 degrees minus 0 degrees plus k by 360 degrees, where k is an element of integers. And the difference here is 180 degrees, then plus k by 360 degrees, where k is an element of integers. So for these values of alpha, this identity will not be defined. But then it does not only end here. You notice that we have tan. And if you remember on the graph of tan x, there are some values of which this graph of tan x is not defined. So it means we do have some other values for which this identity is not defined. So we are just taking this from the graph of tan x. We know the asymptotes is 90 to 70, like that. So when alpha is equal to 90 plus k by 180 degrees, where k is an element of integers, this identity will not also be defined. Remember, this is the general solution for the asymptotes of the graph of tan. If you don't decide to do it this way, we know that tan alpha is equal to sine alpha over cos alpha. So basically, when we see tan, we see this fraction. That means for the values of alpha for which cos alpha will be equal to 0, this identity will not be defined. So you can either solve the same in terms of cos alpha. If cos alpha is equal to 0, this will not be defined. That means we are saying alpha, that is our reference angle, will be cos inverse of 0, which will give us 90 degrees. And then when the ratio is positive, our alpha will be equal to plus or minus 90 degrees plus k by 360 degrees, where k is an element of integers. Now this general solution and this one, they are the same. It all depends on how you want to present your answer. present it like this, still correct. If you present it like that, it's still correct. So that's how we treat a question whereby we need to find a general solution for which the identity is not defined. And we can extend this if we are given the interval of the values of alpha. Then it means we are going to substitute the integers on k and then find the actual angles within the interval that will be given. All right.